Hi, welcome to today's video. Today I want to talk about something, if I read Reddit, a lot of people complain about not enough single player content, about games not being long enough, or about the games being, well, not AAA enough. And then Mr. Owens, whose channel I linked last week, and well, I guess you're going to find it in the description again. He made a video this week complaining about the VR experiences that Sony is selling, about that they cost money, and I feel there is something I want to address about those both things. Now, if you are interested in videos like this, if you want to have more, please like, subscribe. If you enjoyed, share. I would really appreciate that. But let's get back to the subjects. Why don't we get real AAA titles, or at least AAA sized games on VR right now? Well, there's a very simple reason. Just have a look at how many devices have been sold. Not many people have a PSVR, Oculus, HTC Vive yet. I don't think that many people will buy the first generation of those devices, but well, the PlayStation is doing quite well right now. Anyway, this makes for a very limited market. Sure, you might hear numbers like, well, there is now a total of 4 million, 5 million VR devices sold, and that sounds like a lot, but it's not. Not all people or all companies who bought those devices are going to use them. Then the average player is buying maybe 3 or 4 games from having bought the device till now. Out of, like, I think in the PlayStation Store we're above 60 now. So yeah, there's that. Which means if you as a developer or as a publisher want to publish to the VR platform, or to one of the VR platforms to be exact, and multiple platforms usually cost more. Well, if you want to do that, then you don't have a big market. You cannot actually expect a lot of return money-wise, especially since you can't do a full-price game. Currently, you might have heard about the Mass Effect game. That was, I think, 60 or 80 million or something like that, and that might sound like a lot of money for the development of a game to you, but frankly that's how most AAA titles are placed. There's actually quite a few which go way higher, like 50%, 100% higher than that amount of money. Now, you can basically do some basic math there. If there is only 5 million devices that you can deploy to, and you have the extra cost of going for all 3 platforms, and maybe 1 out of 10 people buys the game, and that's actually extremely optimistic. It's more likely 1 out of 50, but let's take the 1 out of 10 because it's easy to calculate, which means that basically you have 500,000 people who can actually, or who actually will play a game. If you go with the 1 out of 50, that's, well, 1/5 of that, right? So that's 100,000. So 100,000 sold copies won't make 80 million, will they? You can just do the math yourself and see how expensive the game would get. So what's currently happening is that studios who create games that are specifically for VR, and that's the majority of the VR titles at the moment, they make small games, they make games that they can afford to make, that they at least have a return of the investment they're doing. Now, if you look at, for example, at Eve Valkyrie is set up as a PvP arena game. It does have a bit of a background story, movie stuff to it, but in the end it's a PvP arena game like you have seen with World of Tanks or War Thunder as well, or the Battletech game, what was it called? But a lot of games, not VR games, are made in that way as well at the moment, simply because that's one of the cheapest things to do. As soon as you bring in story, cutscenes, or even scripted animations, everything gets extremely expensive because there's a lot of work to be done. If you have an animated cutscene, you have to have people who animate it, you have more details in your models, you have to have motion capturing to make it look nice. For the voice acting that's required if you do something like that, because no one wants to see a lot of text scrolling, you will have to have voice actors, and you will have to have translators for those, you will have to have voice actors for the translations if you're not going all English, and well, frankly, with that small market, you probably should go all English, but you know, then a lot less people will buy your game. Meaning, we're getting games like Eve Valkyrie that are PvP focused, or games that are short or easy to play, like well, I haven't played Corix yet, but Corix looks to me like one of those that you can have a lot of playtime through the PvP. Or you can look at games like Darknet, which is not a PvP game, but it's doing basically, well, random procedural missions that you do. So there's not a lot of cost involved in creating the content. If you have a PvP game, if you have a multiplayer game, then usually players create content for each other, which is cheaper to do than to, well, have all the story writing and so on going on. Now, I hope that helps you to understand a bit why the VR games we're seeing right now seem so small. Also, they're not as expensive as AAA titles, right? I recently bought Wildlands, Ghost Recon Wildlands. Jesus, that's $70 for the game alone. So yeah, you can't compare that to the 20 or 30 you pay for most VR games. So I guess it's actually fair. So the other thing was that I mentioned earlier was that Mitzones made this video where he showed some of the new, what they call VR experiences in the PlayStation Store. This is, in that case, a few videos, 360-degree 3D videos, and they're actually quite short, like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and they cost like $7, something like that. Now, Mitzones repeatedly says that he believes they should be free. I disagree. I think that selling videos is totally valid, and if you look in the movie store that the PlayStation has, or in any other movie store, you can actually see that people pay money for movies. Well, maybe not for 15-minute flicks, and maybe those 3D stuff is better on YouTube, where the creator can actually make money from the advertising and will get a bigger audience, because you also have the people who watch it on a smartphone in there and all that stuff. But in the end, creating videos, creating movies is not free either, and especially those nature things or this underwater thing that he is criticizing for costing money. Guys, someone needed to dive there, he needed to get where he dove, and needed to spend a lot of time finding the right shots for those animals. That's actually quite expensive, so yes, it should cost money. The criticism where I would say he's right is it's a bit preposterous to call it a VR experience, because it's, well, basically it's a surround 60-degree movie. It's not really a VR experience, because you're not really experiencing something, you're just watching it. So it should be called movies, and frankly, Sony should have it in an own category. That's something I have a bit of a problem with the Sony store in general. It is actually quite hard to find interesting VR games or experiences, because they basically throw everything together. There's no way of properly selecting by genre or anything like that. It's just VR. You have VR games and VR experiences, and that's it. And that's shitty, Sony. Please fix that. But yeah, paying for those videos, I'm totally fine for that. I would prefer if that was an own app, where you would in that app buy the videos, like, well, maybe Little Star, and I think they're going to do that at some point, or how the others all are named, I don't know. The thing is that it feels a bit like it's littering the store with, well, stuff that I'm not interested in, frankly. The other thing is that those videos are not well described as videos. It's not obvious right away that it's just videos from watching at the store. And something that Mazzone said is that there's no previews for those videos. And frankly, I think there should be previews, but then there's this problem which we have with all of the VR titles. Previewing something on a video or on YouTube, like with my channel, I mean, you see me play games, it doesn't really give you a good representation of what it will look like in VR, to be honest. And for those movies, it would be nice to have like a VR preview, I guess. Well, this for my opinion on the movie subject. I hope this video provided any form of entertainment and or knowledge to you, and I hope to see you soon for another video.